Namaste. The topic of today's video is tuitions. During my interaction with the children, I just asked them what is the schedule like. So children told me that they get up around 5:30 to 6, reach school around 7:15, and then after 6 to 7 hours of study in the school, they go back home, take rest for about half an hour or so, and then they go for tuitions. And I asked them, why do you go for the tuitions? Children said that our parents insisted on sending us to the tuitions. Now, I thought it was only with one child. I asked how many children in the class went for tuitions. Most of the children, about 70 to 80% of the children of this generation, that is those children who are studying in government schools and private schools, most of them seem to be going for tuitions. Now, after that, I thought, what must be happening inside these places where they go for tuitions? I asked the children how many children are there. Children said there are around 50 to 60 children in the classroom. It is not a classroom. Maybe they go to a house or they go to, just a small place where these people, they conduct the tuitions. And then mostly what happens there is they repeat what has already been done in the class. For example, if the teacher has given a reading comprehension passage or something, that is repeated in the tuitions. And if there is a question answers or something like that is given in the class by the teacher, that thing is also repeated in the tuition, where the children go for tuition. Now this actually kept me thinking, we are actually following a new education policy 2020, and we are into NCFFS, and NCFSE has already come. And then why do parents insist on sending their children for tuitions? Now, actually, this has been the practice. That once the children come from school, they will go for tuitions. But with the new education policy and the changes that has been brought about in the curriculum and the way we teach our children, I can absolutely say that there is no need to send the children for tuitions. At least from classes 1 to 8, there is no need. Why I am saying classes 1 to 8 is because after 8th standard, that is in 9, 10, 11, 12, children have to go for the coaching classes, because they have to go and write the entrance examinations like IIT, JEE or NEET or CUET now. Now, when children go for these kind of competitive examinations, whatever is being taught in the class, that is the 11th standard and 12th standard syllabus is mostly given. They have to study 11th and 12th standard syllabus. That more than that is asked, like application-based questions are asked. So that also needs to be changed, and I think the process is on for changing the way children write board exams and the way the children are admitted to the different kinds of colleges in India. But when it comes to classes 1 to 8, sometimes even I see children of LKG, UKG, the Balvatikas, which we call now, those children also going for tuitions. So what exactly is the need? What is the compulsion for the parents to send the children to the tuitions? I don't know. Because the children, it is actually really very, very boring and very, very grueling and, very difficult for the children. the life becomes very, very difficult. Why? Because the child is spending around 6 to 7 hours in the school. Then again the child is spending sometimes, even 1 hour, 2 hour, depending on, sometimes parents insist on sending them to different tuitions for different subjects. So by the time the child comes back from the tuition, it's already 7 o'clock. Then where is the time for the child to interact with the parents, and where is the time, most importantly, where is the time for the child to play? And where is the time for the child to do some kind of a self-learning? So these things our parents have to think about. We have to, as well-wishers of our children, we have to think, and we have to put a stop to this, that is sending children for tuitions. At least don't send the children to tuitions till class 8, because that is not required. Now when it comes to we talk about experiential learning, we talk about problem solving, we talk about different kinds of creative and critical thinking. That is a need of the hour. All those things, nowadays that is the buzz, everybody talks about that. But when we are interacting with the children in the classroom, the mostly I find that the old methodology is only still being followed. Now we have to actually, all the teachers, all the stakeholders, all the parents have to bring about a change in our mindset, and we have to change according to changing times. Now this is everybody knows that this is a digital era, and knowledge is available to the children at the click of a mouse or a click of a button. So imparting, giving knowledge or to the children is important, but they can have it by themselves. So what the teachers and parents should focus is on the methodology that we follow in the class, or the pedagogy that we follow in the classroom, to impart this knowledge, so that our children become good problem solvers. They are able to think creatively, they are able to think critically, and most importantly, they are able to learn by themselves. As Swami Vivekananda, there is a very famous quote of Swami Vivekananda which says that education is a manifestation of perfection that are also already existing in man. So our children are able to do the self-learning. They are able to do, they have the metacognition capacity. Children are able to do self-learning, but we should provide them the opportunities and the environment for them to do so. So if we are taking most of the time of the children, in sending them for tuitions and sending them we are occupying them in all these kinds of activities, then there is no time for that. Earlier, I think maybe 2 to 3 decades back, it was like after the children come from school, everybody used to rush the whole, the colony or the place where the mohalla where you stayed, all the children came together, and there were so many games that, not only the structured games, but very unstructured games, just at the click of the tongue. At that time, we will devise the game and we used to start playing the games. So that exactly was the experiential learning. And lot of learning took place from the peers, and lot of, abilities, different kinds of life skills, different kinds of abilities were developed in children during that time. So I urge all the parents who are sending or not sending the children to play, I urge all of you to send your children outside to play, and not make them sit inside the 4 walls, which, it is, children are already going to school. So once they come back from school, don't give them a gadget, give them a phone or a, iPad or whatever. Make them sit inside the room and learn, or send them for tuition centers. Instead, send them out. And let the children learn in nature. Let the children play, let the children learn from their peer. So that is one thing that is very important. I would like to actually share one anecdote here. Recently, I went for my driving license test. Actually, I have a driving license, both two-wheeler and four-wheeler. But uh, during 2019, my driving license expired. And now we bought a car and a two-wheeler. I wanted to continue with my driving. And when I approached the authorities, they said that your license is already expired and you will have to go in for a fresh test to get your driving license. And I wanted my driving license very badly, so I agreed to it. I applied and then a date was finalized. That was 12th of March. And they said that you will have to drive the car and show, and also you'll have to drive the four-wheeler. Four-wheeler, they told me that, two-wheeler. A two-wheeler, they told me that you will have to make 8 and also one U-turn. So this was playing in my mind, and previous day I went and took my vehicle. Actually, I had been driving since long and I knew how to drive. I took my vehicle and I did practice, and I came back very confidently. I came back home. Next day morning, we were supposed to reach there by 7 o'clock, and I reached there by 7, and we had taken our own four-wheeler, but we couldn't take our two-wheeler. So I actually had to take the two-wheeler that was available there. And that two-wheeler actually was an old scooty, and I thought I will be able to drive that confidently. I sat on that and I started driving, and to my dismay, and I found that I was not able to do that 8, and I was also not able to do a U-turn with that vehicle, because I was not, first of all, I was not used to that vehicle, and since it was very old, the brakes, I couldn't, it took a long time for it to, after applying the brake, it took a long time for the vehicle to stop, and also the vehicle was wobbly. So now there was still some time for the inspector to arrive, and I had some time for practice. I tried once, I tried twice, I failed twice, thrice, many times I tried, and I couldn't, I couldn't do that 8 and I couldn't do that U-turn. Inside my mind, I was actually thinking that I may be the oldest person there giving the test, and there were many people there, around 50 people were watching, and most of them were able to do, and I was not able to do. Then after some time, maybe after the 4th or 5th attempt, I could understand the way the vehicle worked, the way the brake worked, why it was so wobbly. And then by 5th attempt or 6th attempt, I think I was able to do that 8, and also I was able to do that U-turn. And after some time, when the inspector arrived, for four-wheeler it was very easy, because it was an automatic vehicle, and I passed it, within I think 2 to 3 minutes the test was over. And for two-wheeler, though I was little scared, but with my experience and with my practice, I could do that 8, and I could also do that U-turn very, very confidently. Now, why I brought this anecdote here is because I wanted to actually say that this is exactly what is experiential learning, and how this experiential learning helped me to solve my problem, and I developed the life skill. So this is a very, very good example. Though I was very confident the previous day, but the moment I went there, I lost all my confidence, and I was very scared, and I was also not very sure whether I'll get my license. So then finally, now here I am sitting in front of you with a driving license. So that is what happens in life. So this is what we have to, this is exactly what happens in education. This is exactly what happens in life. So for this we have to prepare our children. I already told that knowledge is available to them. With the new education policy and with the National Curriculum Framework for Foundational Stage and National Curriculum Framework for School Education, our teachers have to focus on developing, competencies in children. Knowledge is already there. Then slowly we have to develop the skill, and the attitude also has to be developed. The knowledge plus skill plus the attitude gives the competency. So once a competency is developed, we can say that we have developed what was needed, and our education was successful. Now what happens is, actually what happens inside a classroom is, the teachers have to now modify their lessons in such a way that children will be interested. I always say, that how can you catch the attention of the children? You can catch the attention of the children by giving them choice, making the class joyful, and also helping the children to wonder. So if these three things are there in your class, if you give them choice, if you help them to wonder, and if you make your class joyful, there is no reason that your class will not be enjoyable. And there is our national education policy, the NCFSA will be implemented in true manner. Thank you.